Why, hello there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Mr. Dogweb233, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, Kalterkrieg as New England. Now, last video, New Jersey is being a little riley right now. Don't really appreciate it, I think, but what are you going to do? Meanwhile, we're going to pass the Consumer Protections Act, infiltrating the AUS a little bit, and right now, let's work on Operation Grey Eyes. Very compelling stuff, obviously. Oh. I don't know. I don't know why that popped up, I'll be honest. But, yeah, it looks like, oh, look at that, the Republic of China. Was that an actual gain for Democrats in New Jersey? Yeah, look at that. And then there we go. Ronnie calls his first meeting with Yankee ambassadors in Petropolis. States desire for free trade between the countries, as well as restriction of Brazilian external debt. Visits New York City for the first time again. How is amazing and how quickly the city seems to be recovering from destruction of civil war. Hope this brings us new trade opportunities. Our nation's nascent civil rights movement is but a first step in a long and arduous process. Every victory counts, and big ones like the Seller Powell Act have laid the foundation for something greater. But even from this foundation, the frameworks of full national movement must be built. The momentum grows for more change, more laws, and even constitutional amendments. So does the opposition. Much of the civil rights movement is steeped in the rhetoric of left-wing New England Progressive Party and more organizations like the Civil Rights Congress or connected to the late Revolution. The harder it is to palate for much, the harder it becomes to palate for much of our conservative population. But this predicated entrenchment in leftist politics is in the process of being overturned by none other than the co-author of the Seller Powell Act himself, Representative Adam Clayton Powell, Jr. I gotta look this up right now. Colin Powell. Is there any relation? Nope. Does not look like it. Adam C. Powell, an African-American congressman out of Harlem, started his career as a Democrat on the New York City Council right as the Civil War was ending. He quickly gained influence and became the first black congressman out of New York, and was one of the first congressmen elected to represent New York City's independent state. Thus far, he has had a respectable career and has quickly become a rock star among the Democratic Party for support of their agenda and his push for civil rights. Working closely with New York's first regional NAACP president, Dr. James Egert Allen, he's become a driving force in integrating racial politics into New England's legislature. It's said that the NAACP acts as the quarterback that threw the ball to Powell, who, to his credit, was more than happy to catch and run with it to pass in Congress. The name recognition garnered from the Seller Powell Act is naturally risen as a leader of the civil rights movement in New England. He challenges the use of poll tax and has virtually shut down the casual use of racial slurs in Congress. Working as an establishment Democrat, he's become an agreeable choice for Democrats in both camps, as well as a sizable block of liberal Republicans within our borders. And in the light of the CRC's wishy-washy leftism and the uncertainty caused by Philadelphia State Transit strike, Representative Powell has become a beacon of stable progress for all of New England. What an agreeable bunch. France reforms into a presidential republic. What is this now? The Fourth Republic? I guess it is. Oh yeah, I think the kingdom got Haute Savoy last time, but this time the Republic did. Hey, Dry, I'm doing alright. How about yourself? Here we go. A new center for medical sciences, the Waxman Institute of Microbiology, is set to open this Friday. Located at Rutgers University, the institute is a brainchild of Dr. Selman Waxman, one of the world's premier microbiologists. The good doctor and his team hope to use their new facilities at their disposal to isolate more antibiotics for use against bacteria and diseases. Rumors around that Waxman will receive a Nobel Prize for his continuing contribution to medical sciences. Just make sure you wash your hands before you come home, okay? We'll just playing some modded CK3. Very fun. Very, very fun. Let's go ahead and get that going. And there we go. The Senate has passed the Consumer Protection Act, officially sending it to President W. Averell Harriman's desk. Acting as President of the Senate, the President pro tempore and Senator from New Hampshire, Styles Bridges, announced the bill's passage this afternoon. After easy passage of the Democratic-controlled House of Reps, the bill faced very tough odds in the Senate. After President Harriman announced he wanted the bill as part of the agenda for this legislative session, Speaker McCormack rushed fast passage in the House in the hopes that it would put pressure on the more Republican-favored Senate. After trying to work with the administration on the bill, Republican leader and senator from upstate New York, Irving Ives, announced his opposition. However, Harriman's political operation held strong as they were able to whip enough Republicans into voting for the bill with only minor concessions. President Harriman will hold a bill signing ceremony within a few days, officially enacting the Consumer Protection Act of 1915 a law. Beautiful. Well done, gentlemen. What's the deal with Great Lakes government and the country in Salt Lake City? Pacific States of America is held on to Utah. The Great Lakes government, I think this was Canada pushed into the CSA, occupied this territory, instead of giving it to the AUS, which doesn't make sense, and instead of giving it to New England, which doesn't make much sense geographically, they set up their own government here, which can apparently elect Gus Hall. They're really struggling to core up all this, though, it seems. Even though they have compliance in all these areas, so I don't know why they're not coring it. I'm going to affect some Republicans. Well, the world is looking pretty good for us. Democrats gained polls in Philadelphia. Actually, Democrats this time, though no description there. Thus far, New England has been a shining example of civil rights progress across the former United States. While racism has hardly been removed from our society, Boston has begun to treat itself as a city on a hill that acts as a model form of progress for fixing America's sins. So far, we have empowered Representative Powell as a civil rights leader. We have passed actual legislation to back our rhetoric, made significant inroads to increase minority voices in our government. And while progress has been above and beyond anyone's expectations, we are not a monolith. Powell's leadership has been a great driving force behind a unified civil rights movement, but even with him at the helm of it, it has been like herding cats to get anything done. Most Northeastern Republicans are relatively moderate in regard to social issues, though they have steered budgets towards responsible legislation, which stymies many aid projects. New England's Democratic Party has been rapidly championing the cause of social liberalism and catalyzing civil rights legislation, but the conservative old guard are less enthused by diverting party resources to push the agenda. Left-wing groups like the Progressive Party and Civil Rights Congress have their own agendas, often pushing labor issues alongside racial ones, and the NAACP sits in the middle with an eagle-eyed focus on the African-American community. New Englanders can all agree that civil rights will become a staple of free American society, but very few people can actually get along and choose a single path to achieve the result. Congressional debates are often tied with bureaucratic red tape, and media pundits from all political camps argue day and night over going too far or not far enough. But even with New England's many interest groups tugging the civil rights question in different directions, movement is still being made. Given enough time and resources, a man as capable as Adam C. Powell will be able to rein in the crowd and drive this energy towards a single and actionable future for the civil rights movement. Compromise is always possible. Got it. What are you up to in a CK3 drive? Tell me. Ooh, what do we got here? Operation Grey Eyes is a magnum opus of CIA Director Alan Dulles. It is a clandestine operation to embed CIA agents into the Unionist Pennsylvania and destabilize it from within. Oh, I've read about this. This is going to be interesting. The operation will start by building low-level contacts and plan to escalate by establishing a network of sympathetic government officials and National Guard officers. This network will be used to convince the governor of Union, Pennsylvania to flip his loyalty to align with Boston and reunite Pennsylvania under the New England banner. We may risk war if the plan is leaked, but the reward will be significant economic and moral victory for us and our NATO allies. That's actually huge. Well, let's build some low-level contacts first. Build low-level contacts. Conquering Texas and Mexico to make a cursed Neo-Habsburg Empire, and after the end... Oh, okay. Very nice. Let's get working on the new states. New Jersey and Eastern Pennsylvania were once syndicalist bastions, and after years of work, they are finally under our complete control. We need to undo the economic havoc the syndicalists caused in these states. CIA Director Alan Dulles and a handful of national security advisors met with the president in an off-the-books XCOM meeting at the presidential mansion this afternoon. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, Dulles took the floor and laid out an ambitious plan to strike a critical blow to the Union state. This plan, which we're calling Operation Grey Eyes, would call for 24 CIA operatives to cross the border, whereupon they would infiltrate Union Pennsylvania's government and destabilize it from within. Ideally, operatives would be able to flip key members of the legislature and National Guard. It will culminate with a presentation of a fait accompli to the governor to get him to go along with the plan. It will be advantageous to focus on building low-level contacts before attempting to flip upper-level officials. Depending on how the operation goes, Pennsylvania could either peacefully reunite with us or be in a position where we can intervene and bring them back into the fold. We obviously can't predict how the Union state would respond to any of this. Best case scenario, they let Pennsylvania go. Worst case, they find out what we're doing, and we get pulled into the Third Civil War. That could potentially get Ottawa and San Francisco involved, and maybe even Berlin, if we're really unlucky. It's a risky plan, Mr. President. I won't lie to you about that, but I think Pennsylvania is worth the risk. Just give us the green light, and we'll start preparations immediately. We must destroy the Southern traders by any means necessary. Steel making 2. This is all this is getting interesting, I gotta say. Let's get Cutlass going. Just play more CK3, especially after the end is all content, so we don't... Alright, I might do that. I have time nowadays. I might get into CK3. That's actual gains in Connecticut. Like to see that. In the light of growing tension in South Jersey, the Commonwealth Bureau of Investigations officially created a task force to shut down seditious Klan activities. After cooperating with the New Jersey State Police with CBI, it's been able to connect the Klan to the First Sons of New Jersey and along the smuggling rings. Additionally, they worked alongside the IRS to prove a series of tax crimes against Klan leadership, who might not otherwise have been directly connected to the violent crimes. Brokering no seditious behavior, the federal government authorized the largest law enforcement operation in the history of New England. To ensure the success of his operation, over 250 federal agents and 150 New Jersey State Police were deployed all across the state in the dead of night. New Jersey National Guard units were also on standby to support as well. Imperial Wizard of the Klan, of New England Klan, Alfred Milford Young, was arrested in his home at 2:33 a.m. on treason charges. His property was seized under tax liens for failure to report Klan income. New Jersey's Grand Dragon, Arthur Hornboy Bell was arrested alongside 45 other Klansmen who were preparing for a raid at 2:56 a.m. By 3:30 a.m., nearly 600 Klan members in 4 Sons of New Jersey had been arrested. By 6 a.m., most had been transferred to Trenton State Prison for processing. The network's top organizers, including Young and Bell, were escorted by armed CBI agents to a train and delivered to Boston at 12:35 p.m. today to face federal charges. Well, this was certainly a victory. It is a bittersweet one. This has been the first fighting on New England soil in over a decade, and hundreds of men have been put behind bars. Even though they were seditious criminals, they were members of the community as well. Sheriffs, judges, butchers, teachers, and politicians. The broken doors and windows are released of South Jersey's problems in the face of the massive vacuum created when these men were removed from society. It would be easier if these were just villains sent from the AOs to infiltrate our country, but most were citizens of New Jersey first. While the African-American community can sleep easy for the first time in months, the rest of the country has to come to terms with how these people were their friends and neighbors. This may not be the nail in the coffin for New England's Klan, but the arrest of their Imperial Wizard, the decimation of the New Jersey chapter, will certainly put an end to cross burnings and murders long enough for their despicable organization to crumble into irrelevance. There goes the neighborhood, Martha. What we got over here? Live free or die. Yep. Build low-level contact succeeded. Excellent. Republican. Congo versus Katanga. I don't suppose. And now that you guys are aligned with our geopolitical goals, apparently. New state's going. Go ahead. We can electrify the Delaware Valley. Let's do that. Let's reestablish the New York City Port Authority. Let's get the Lackawanna Steel Mill. What do we want to do next? There's some NATO stuff we could work on, but let's do a Social Security Act. Under our predecessor, Social Security has been neglected and cut to the point where it's become completely irrelevant in our nation. This new act will expand benefits for the first time since the creation of Social Security and allow for universal coverage for all citizens in New England. Build more low-level contacts. Ireland deploys the army to Northern Ireland. Uh-oh. Upstate New York gains. Very nice. I'll have to keep an eye on that over there. See what happens there. Some shit's going on in Nepal. I don't know what exactly, but Nepal somehow has some crazy-ass Game of Thrones-esque shit going on. Oh shit, we got Serbia and Albania in the Accord. That's wild. Interesting indeed. What do we want next? Actions taken within the Accords military command structure, known as SHAPE, Supreme Headquarters Accord Powers Europe, is led to be announced from a new naval exercise in an undecided location to better prepare the Grand Fleet and increase coordination between the nations of the Accord. Top Admiralty has two suggestions for the location of the exercise. Several naval analytics and admirals suggest the exercise should be in the North Sea, a likely zone of conflict should war with the Reichspakt ever rise. Admiral Bruce Fraser suggests the world and the Germans most of all need a reminder that Britannia rules waves once more. The opposite opponents headed by Admiral Sir Wilfred Patterson, quick to point out that the action so close to Germany would be seen as a direct threat to German security, would spark a crisis between the Reichspakt and the Accord. Forced to the Accord to possibly risk war back down, which would only empower Germany and the region in the eyes of the world. They believe the open waters of the Atlantic would prove best for fulfilling the goals of the Admiralty in SHAPE. Yeah, we know. We'll do the North Atlantic. We don't need to fuck around there. Social Security Act. Let's court some Republicans. So, lose some conservative Democrat support, but we'll gain liberal Democrat support. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Can I head out? Alright, thank you, Dry. Have fun yourself. Congolese faction. Yeah, let's send material aid to the Congolese. And we can volunteer. Would you look at that? Let's get Decker in. And then next... Ooh. Let's work on the GI Bill. With the end of the Second American Civil War behind us, many of our soldiers have returned home to the poverty and hopelessness they left behind. New England veterans deserve better, and it's the government's job to help our former soldiers. By lowering college, mortgage, and loan costs, we can give back to our veterans who gave everything for New England. Can't think of anything better to do. A good, noble thing. That. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave things there. Thanks as always for watching. Like if you liked, dislike if you didn't, leave any comments or feedback down in the comment section below. I think you all know the deal by now. Sub button, notification bell, links down in the description box below. Thanks for watching, gang. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.